Hello and welcome to this edition of the Podium, which is coming to you live from Freetown, from the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation with me, Asmiwa. We start with a quote of the day, which comes from former US President Barack Obama, and it says, the best way not to feel hopeless is to get up and do something. Don't wait for good things to happen to you. If you go out and make some good things happen, you will find the world with hope. You will find yourself with hope. Coming up into this edition of the program, as President Bio launched the free education scheme, what's the package? We shall find out. We shall be talking to the newly transferred local unit commander of the Waterloo division concerning some of the issues that are happening under his jurisdiction. The Electricity Distribution and Supply Authority to begin the installation of STS new compliance meters. All these and more, including your messages, which you can send to 088373 The number again is 088373 It's Podium. Well, let's start with the issue of security. The Western Rural Districts and Waterloo, to be precise, is one of the sprawling communities in Freetown. Well, the issue of security is a concern to many people, especially the Sierra Leone police, which have been working very hard to ensure that peace and security prevail in that part of the country. Well, the Sierra Leone police have been making serious efforts to see how they could nip on the bud issues of fighting over land and the issue of gangs and sometimes even killings in Waterloo. Well, the newly appointed local unit commander of that Waterloo division is Chief Superintendent of Police Ambrose Suvula. Welcome to the program, Chief Superintendent of Police.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here. It has been quite a long time.
Okay. Yes, indeed. What's the jurisdiction of the Waterloo Police Division?
The jurisdiction is a little bit wide and it's a fast-growing jurisdiction. You know, a lot of people are moving towards I want to call it a new creation. Since Freetown is getting dense, condensed, people are now moving towards that area. And when they are moving, good people are moving, bad people are moving. The point there is how you can manage the two set of people, because the good are there to promote development and the bad are there to become an impediment to growth. So that management is what is a huge challenge for the police, but we are trying to see how best we can engage the good, the bad and the ugly in order to get a fair play for people who are ready to develop Sierra Leone.
And some people say Waterloo is now serving as a safe haven for criminals. Once they carry out their criminal activities, the place they will go and hide, the place they will go and seek refuge is Waterloo.
And yes, I will not much argue that, but I believe that if it was a safe haven and it's becoming a little bit hotter, because we are running after bad people. They are in minority and the good are in majority. It's just a matter of cooperating, the cooperation of the good one with the police, so that we'll be able to get rid of the bad ones. That's the reason why probably I may use this medium to talk to people to continue to give us information. We will not be at all places at all times, but get confidence in us and report any ill suspected situation so that we can respond. Sometimes our response could be challenged, but never mind, still continue to talk to us. If we could not meet your desire today, tomorrow we'll be able to meet, because it's a gradual process. And you remember, policing is dynamics. We continue to train the young ones in order for them to be strong and meet the challenges.
And the issue of people fighting over land, sometimes it has even resulted to death or injuries. That is right. That is a common practice in that part of the country.
Well, not only there, the area I was moving before going to Lunsa, Godrich is also having similar problems. It's very simple. There is scarcity in the land, and a lot of people want to. When the war broke out, everybody want to come to Freetown. So the land is minimal, and the number that demands it is high. So since the supply is not sufficient, there must be a scramble over it. But how they do it is nothing to write home about. But there are key players: the vendors, the council, and the ministry. See, sometimes these things are set by them, and when it become chaotic, they all leave it for the police. But we'll engage them so that we can draw strategies that can resolve such matters without, losing any life.
I think even last week, Monday or Tuesday also, we received a distress call from some residents around a place called Lompa. They said the whole community, someone said she owned that land, and according to her, the police was called to start doing some eviction, but I think the people resisted that. A whole community said it belongs to one person.
Yeah, I have to make some comment on that because I'm aware of the situation. I went there my very self. There was going to be demolition, but the wisdom of the regional commander and my very humble self at the place, we said, let's look at the situation. Instead of we call demolition, let us go to negotiation. But if negotiation is to happen, there must be a survey of the property. When the property is being surveyed, instead of you go into demolition that will cause displace of a whole lot of people, then we can now negotiate and see, because sometimes justice delay, justice deny. If people have been there for 10, 15, 20 to 30 years, questions will come up. But it's nice if court orders and other things have come, we look at it critically and see how we can proffer a solution that will not bring a mayhem to the country.
So what is the current situation on that particular issue?
The court orders still stand, and
the area in question belongs to one individual?
The court order, I don't know how to interpret it, but the order was police should provide security for the bailiff to go and do certain work. It's not actually the police that will cause this, eviction and the rest. We provide security for those that will be doing the job. And that is why I will be, blamed by the public, because the public will want to stop those that want to do that. And if we protect them, then police become a target of the situation. That situation there is a situation that the police and the owner, the alleged owner, and the people alleged to have stayed there are in, some consultations. And those things that are coming up, we look at them and see how best we can draw a better strategy in order to resolve it without causing harm or mayhem to people.
He is the Chief Superintendent of Police, the local unit commander of the Waterloo Police Division. The program is Podium, reaching you from Freetown. Send your message, story number 0883733504. Well, on Monday, President Bill launched the much talked about free education, which is going to commence on this September when schools reopen in the country. Well, many people have given different interpretations to the free education, but the president who unveiled the project that particularly spoke specifically what entails in the free education project. Well, in the studio is Brahma Michael Toure from the Ministry of Education. Welcome to the program, BNT.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, you may want to amplify the president's message on Monday about the free education. Prior to the launching of that project, many people had given different interpretations as to what the free education entailed, not until the president came out and spoke to the nation that day.
Yes, indeed. I mean, people were very anxious to know what would be the package. And so several questions had been asked by people because they wanted to know, especially parents who were preparing to send their kids back to school come September 17th. So what we had said prior to yesterday was that the president pronounced the free quality education, therefore he has the total authority to tell us what's in that package. So yesterday, on Monday was that day, and indeed he spoke to the nation and to the world and outlined a number of items that would constitute this free quality education. And some of them were school fees. It now becomes government's responsibility for pupils in pre-primary school right through senior secondary school in all government and government-assisted schools. Admission fees waived and now becomes the government's responsibility. Usually to get a child to a particular school, you spend anywhere between 1.5 million, 2 million, some 3 million. parents would have to spend.
Those, for example, we're moving from class 6 to Form 1,
class 6 to Form 1.
From Beckett to WAS to SSS1.
Exactly. So that cost is waived. Now it becomes government's responsibility. Textbooks for 4 core subjects, and he named those subjects: English language, mathematics, science, and social studies, or civic education. Now French would also come on board, but until it is properly constituted, because we don't have enough French teachers in the country. So that has to come into the core subject. And of course, he also mentioned exercise books, chalk, pens, pencils, registers, which usually constitute teaching and learning materials, blackboards, and all that stuff. It's all part of the package. And then he also mentioned a key area, informal education, to strengthen that. Because there are those who may have passed the age of school-going age. They will still want to return to some form of education. So you have the informal learning centers, which we have been utilizing to actually return the pregnant girls during Ebola back to school, because we had over 10,000 of them in those informal learning centers, and to date we have returned back a good many of that number back to the mainstream schooling, which is very helpful. And so, more or less, for a start, like I have said, for this September, that is going to constitute the package for the free quality education.
The issue of feeding was removed in this new package.
No,
the school feeding program.
It was never part of the package in the first place.
No, why I mean removed? It had been started in the past.
Yes.
1 or 2 years ago.
Yes.
It was started.
Yes.
And many people thought it was going to be part of the free education package, because that's one of the strategies to keep kids in school.
So it is not part of the package. It's a complementary item to the free education. It's going to continue the school feeding. He mentioned the organizations that are going to actually participate in that. WFP, he mentioned Joint Aid Management JAM, the South African-based company. That was mentioned by him on Monday, that they are going to actually continue to participate. And CRS, CRS is already feeding.
Why didn't he make it a government policy to have included it in the package?
Well,
that would have given it more strength, more roots, more power.
No, a school feeding program is not a child's play. You would have to be careful whether you're a government or you're an organization to declare a school feeding program that will run from Monday through Friday. 5 days to feed kids, 5 days a week is not a child's play. So you have to be very careful. JAM, Joint Aid Management, is already allotted land in Yile, and they are going to be cultivating whatever they're going to feed to our schools. So that takes a whole process. You would not want to declare that now, and then when that time comes, you begin to struggle to do that. And then people will begin to condemn what you're doing. And so, even with what government plans to do, it's not for all primary schools, not for all schools, for areas that are mostly deprived. Those will be targeted. Areas where people are struggling to even feed their kids, not let alone send them to school. So once those populations are targeted and they are fully taken care of, then one can begin to think about making it a national thing where you have all of these players coming on board.
BMT, knowing Sierra Leone, when the former government launched the free health policy, pregnant women, lactating mothers and children, and those who took children under 5 to hospitals paid money. Though free health was a government policy, and many people we have spoken to have also expressed that same fear, that same concern, that though government has introduced the free education, schools authorities are going to ask them to pay for certain charges.
Let me tell you, as laudable as the free healthcare program was at the time, what was lacking for the most part was monitoring. That was lacking. That's the reason why people were able to sneak away with their drugs and take them over to Guinea or someplace to sell. In this free quality education, that is not going to be the case. Because only 2 weeks ago, when the minister was told that some heads of schools were asking parents to pay 250,000 euros, he sent the deputy director covering Western area, urban, immediately to find out. And his statement at that moment was that if anyone is found guilty, you suspend him on the spot and ask the deputy to assume responsibility of the school until that person has actually done his suspension. You see, when you begin to have a leadership that takes such proactive step, then you are encouraged by the fact that something is going to happen. something positive is going to come
What
out.
is it there? What was in the package for the teachers, apart from what the president said in Parliament, that anyone who has been in the classroom for not less than 10 years, that person, I think 2 or 3 kids of that teacher, 3 kids of that teacher is going to have free university education, and also some incentive is going to be made for teachers to be enticed to go to the provinces. So what did the president say about them in his package? Because it is they who will be administering, in other words.
So without even really mentioning what is going to be in a package for teachers, they will always be relevant in our school system. Without them, just forget about education. They are the bedrock of whatever.
But many times their conditions have not been addressed.
And so that is the reason why you would not want to rush in actually pronouncing what you have in the package for them. You have to be very careful. Usually there are negotiations behind the scenes between the Sierra Leone Teachers Union and other stakeholders with the government until they reach a consensus where they would have a final package. And that is going to be the case. The Teaching Service Commission is there this time around to work on behalf of the teachers. They are the advocacy, main advocacy group now on the side of government. And then you have the SLTU, which is an outside body of government. So all these entities working together, negotiating with the Ministry of Education, you can be assured that the teachers will see a very good thing. But what I want to say here that the minister has said within the last few weeks is that any teacher who is trained and qualified and is in any of our classrooms, in a government or government-assisted school, that has not been placed in the voucher system, that does not have a PIN code, between now and December, that would be a thing of the past. That teacher would be on the voucher and receive a salary every month. So that is very encouraging, keeping in mind that for the past 10 years, that's something we've been struggling with in the Ministry of Education. Recruitment, reassessment, and all of these things. Now, also remember, this minister was an advocate for teachers for 10 years at the Sierra Leone Teachers Union, Secretary General of the Sierra Leone Teachers Union. Labour Congress, he was there. He was Minister of Labour at one time. So you can see where he is coming from with that passion he has for teachers.
Okay, he is Brahma Michael to the program is a Podium coming to you from Freetown. Well, the coalition, the Education for All Coalition is an organization that normally monitors education activities in the country. What do they make of the president's launching of the free education? In the studio is Joseph Kobina. Welcome to the program, Joseph.
Yeah, thank you very much. Of course, the launching and the declaration of the is a laudable venture, and we want to say this did not happen overnight, and our advocacy for the past decade was based on us having, especially taking into consideration the John 10 Declaration and the Dhaka Declaration on the 6 schools of Ifa. We always wanted free quality education,
okay, now
and an increase in budgetary allocation, and that one has been achieved. So we see like a pat on the back of CSOs, not only the coalition as a team, but a team. CSOs for the past years of advocacy, now we have somebody who have actually pushed that agenda. So we welcome the process and the like.
So how do we going to ensure that it's not only about having a free education, but having a free and quality education?
Yeah,
because I mean, many times free is synonymous to something not with quality.
Yes, of course. Somebody will say that there is nothing like free education because somebody will have to pay for it. Of course, with the taxpayers and other sources. Like my colleague was saying here, the free medical thing that was on was as a result of lack of proper monitoring. Our own side as CSO, Education for All Sierra Leone Coalition, will actually be mounting a robust monitoring process.
So you say ours is going to be synonymous with quality?
Yeah, we're going to make sure quality is also looked at properly. And that is going to look at how the teachers will be doing the job, how government is actually addressing their situation so that they can mount up to the task and the like. You see, we want an independent third-party monitoring of the process. You cannot.
And who's going to be that independent?
That is as a CSOs. We have a CSO coordinating group that is actually already formed, and we are in the process of engaging our partners and stakeholders.
I mean, even when the free healthcare was launched, CSOs, for instance, Charles Mambo and others had a coalition.
Yeah.
They did monitor the free health, but that did not stop
maybe,
the free health not to...
Maybe they will have taken their own in a very different dimension with us. I'm talking of very robust group. We're talking of Action Aid, Save the Children, EFE Coalition as a lead team. We're talking of Oxfam Sierra Leone. We are talking of World Vision. We're all in a coordinated team. And that one is going to be launched soon, and we're going to approach UNICEF and the Ministry of Education to see our entry point as to how we can do the monitoring independently of what the ministry is doing. You say it's like CSOs we should not implement, the education package. I mean, that's our own take. We should follow the process, how it is going, and that it is done properly. So when this coordination team shall have put all of our actions into place, and then we can pronounce this. But that notwithstanding, it does not mean that the coalition and all our members of CSOs have not been taking part in the planning process of the free education package that is there. Series of committees were established to ensure that we achieve what was launched a few days ago by the president. And most of these committees, CSOs were represented here, including the coalition and other groups who were supporting the process.
Thank you very much, Joseph Kobina. The program is a Podium reaching you from Freetown. Well, a notice has been issued from the management of EDSA on the recent power outage in some parts of the city recently, and the delay is as a result of the institution's efforts to install new STS compliant meters. Well, the organization refutes claims by the public of connivance with some organizations to turn off power, thereby depriving other households. Well, they say power outages can only occur when communities experience cut wires, explosion on commission lines, transformer blast, falling poles, and tripping due to interruption. Well, in the studio is Sir Nepo, the communication officer of EDSA. Welcome to the program, Sir Nepo.
Thanks for having me.
Tell us more about these new meters.
Yes, 2 years ago, there were outcries from the public as to the apatometers that were used by customers. Of course, this was a very great concern to the board of directors, and immediately they met and decided to change all apato non-compliance STS meters to compliance meters. What we did was our technicians and staff from the commercial department, we are all over the country ensuring that they change all apatometers were changed, and that was a success. But however, there are some certain areas that customers were not available at the time our technicians visited the premises. So door locks were left, notices were left, and we also sent out public notices informing customers who we are unable to change their meters to come to our office and inform us. But however, there were certain customers that never visited us and never informed us about changing their meters to STS compliance. What we did recently is that we have published a notice also informing customers with immediate effect to please come to our office at Falcon Bridge and report on the change of their meters from.
So what's happening with those customers who still hold those old meters? Is it that some of them are having problem with either to recharge?
That's where I'm coming. The advantage about changing your meters from non-STS compliance to STS compliance is that it gives a smooth way for you to recharge your meters, vis-a-vis using Airtel Money, Splash, Fentech, and other aggregators that are on the grid. So you can even stay at your house and just use your Airtel Money and recharge your meter without coming to our offices. That is why, in the bid to also ensure that our customers are satisfied, we have also established customer service centers both in the east, central, and western parts of Freetown, so that if you are staying at Waterloo, for instance, you can easily contact the customer care centers in the east and do your service connection, fill a form for meter connection, and also recharge your meters if you so desire. And what we have done is that the non-STS compliance meters is posing challenges for our customers, because if you are using non-STS compliance meters, there's a means that it's possible for you not to even be paying your bills. It's also possible that you cannot receive the quality you are supposed to receive. It's also possible that you start to face challenges in even securing your meters. That is why we are saying we are appealing to customers for them to come to our office, because we know it's a responsibility.
Are they not coming forward?
No, they have not. That's why we've sent out a public notice. Also, we are affirming our stand that we want to change all meters, STS compliance, non-compliance meters to STS compliance meters. And also, recently there were allegations on social media that often when they are Champions League, our technical staff are of the habit of switching off power from household to ensure that customers can go to the cinemas to watch the football. Of course, in the press release, I said that information is false. is baseless and therefore not true.
Well, but this is not the
because-
first time customers are making that claim. So
Yes,
it's not
but
new.
you know, we are serving the general population of Freetown, not only Freetown but Sierra Leone as a whole. So most often than not, there are reports coming to our offices that certain issues are occurring and our staff are involved in it. But in most cases, when investigations are done, there has been no point in time wherein our staff has been found guilty of crimes of such.
Maybe the reason
Most
why
times-
people are making that claim is because in Freetown, I will say it to your face that we have seen instances where if someone of influence is living in a particular community and there is no electricity in his area, you just take his telephone and call someone from EDSA. EDSA would give that person electricity. So the question is, if that person has the influence to call for light to be given, there is also someone maybe who has the power to call for light not to be given.
No, that's not the situation here. The situation is that often than not, we all know that in the east is congested, and each transformer is allocated to certain household. If connections are being done and it's, the number of households that are to be connected exceeds, then you start experiencing low voltages. And when once you experience low voltages, you cannot receive the quality of electricity you are supposed to utilize. And that is why there are times you see when you put on your fridges, it doesn't work appropriately, your television and so forth and so on. And as I speak, we have commenced strengthening of the lines because of low voltages, and we have made it very clear to customers that let me also make it very clear, there are certain people within the eastern part of Freetown that are perpetrating that they are staff of EDSA, which of course they are not working for EDSA. Most often than not, they go to customers, connect them illegally, and they get access to electricity. So this is why you see that the more you connect customers on a particular transformer, it means that you are exceeding the number of households that are to be fed from that transformer. So it implies
Well,
that
these people,
transformer will not
but
give
these
the
people are
required
not
output.
having. I mean, now majority of homes in Freetown are operating under the prepaid meters, and I guess with a prepaid meter, you just don't steal and pay light like that.
No, they are still in. You know, the problem here is
So can someone steal your light even with the prepaid system?
yes. You know, recently again we had a public notice out informing customers that please, we have also discovered that a lot of people are stealing electricity from EDSA. You have what you call illegal abstraction of electricity. Even when the prepaid meters is installed, you have some electricians who are not working for EDSA. They'll go meet the customer and say, there's a way I can adjust this meter for you. So they'll bypass the meter. You know, it's being connected from the pole to the meter. It's a cable system. So there's a way.
How can that be done by someone who does not work for EDSA?
Of course, there are people who have gone to electricity institute. They know about the operation.
But these meters, I guess, have passwords.
No, it's not about the meter. The meter is different. The meter is there, the bypass. They don't interfere in the operations of the meter. But the cable that is being connected to the meter can be cut and joined from somewhere so that you can get power without.
And that's
paying for
something
it.
that you can see. That is not done.
Yes, that is why our staff are on the field doing monitoring system, ensuring that every household that is being called. That's why if you go to the CID now, there are a lot of cases that have been prosecuted because of the fact that there are customers involved in illegal abstraction of electricity. And you know, this has posed a lot of challenges within the operations of EDSA, because this is a business-like model. We are no longer as it used to be when you have a joint company, both generation and transmission. Now it's been divided. You have a generation company, you have a transmission company, and we also have IPPs that are complementing the effort of the generation company. So now EDSA as a utility, we have the responsibility to get money and buy the power from the generation company.
And you are making money?
No, that's not the case. If we do not have the money to buy power,
Are you not
from
making
companies,
money?
Of course, we are not making money. We are going at a loss because of the involvement of customers in illegal abstraction of electricity. So we are going at a loss. That is why we are still appealing to customers to please, if you know you are a patriotic customers and you want EDSA to develop, you want more power. If you discover anyone found in illegal abstraction of electricity, it is your duty and responsibility to report to the nearest police station or call Estimate Customer Service on 672. Thereby we can intervene into the issue and
he is Sir Nepo, the communication officer of EDSA. The program is a Podium reaching you from Freetown. Send your message to the number 088-373-5040, 088-373-5040. Mr. Sufula, as the communities around Waterloo and its environs keep increasing, what is the police strategy to meet the growing demand for security?
Yes, we have one strategy which we believe community engagement. If you are policing the people, you engage the people, you discuss with the people. There is nothing that is secret now in policing. You plan with them, discuss with them, and once you discuss with them, you will be able to win the bad people. You will be able to, provide quality security. I'm going to use quality because since we are expecting quality education, we must expect quality policing. Because we must have received the quality already from education, and we translate it in the police and operationalize it. Our community policing strategy, we can localize it, like we call it look and need policing. Policing in Waterloo is a little bit different from policing in Kenema. In Waterloo, land grabbing is on increased there, and the cliques and other things that are emerging issues.
So how do you normally go after the gangs and cliques?
You engage them. You have good customers, you have bad customers. Our clients sometimes are bad, sometimes are good. But when you engage them, you dialogue.
But there's nothing good about being a gang.
Yes, of course. But if someone chooses to be so, you have to, engage him in order to, transform the person. Not how much people I must have arrested and Waterloo and sent to prison can determine how efficient and effective I am. But how quiet, how peaceful in Waterloo environment that can determine my effectiveness as a good police officer. So the only way I can achieve that is involving everybody.
But residents around Waterloo, Devil Hole, Okel and other areas are complaining of petty crime. Well, not say petty crime, such as this armed robbery issue. People have been attacked in their homes, and people say that part of the city, security is not effective as compared to the main city here.
Yeah. Like I said, it's a growing communities. A whole lot of when we pressure them, they will go to Kisi. You can, for example, grafting upwards have been a little bit of target because of the pressure we mount at Waterloo, and Godrich is now suffering because of our pressure. But we have agreed in the policing, strategy as well, that as I will be pressing in Waterloo, James will be pressing in Godrich, and Saul will be pressing at Kisi. So when they do not have any opportunity to do bad, they will either decide to change or they leave the entire area. But above all is the cooperation of the public. Don't keep them quiet. Don't say it's not my business. Inform the police. They may not satisfy you immediately, but you have area to report them if you have reported critical issues that they are supposed to address and they do not. That is why we exist. If we don't, then the relevance of our existence will diminish. So I apply to people that we, like for example, a few days ago, the cooperation of the public, we were able to clear Tumbo Park. You see, Waterloo Lorry Park has been a menace. But I engage everybody. I told them we have received 2 accidents from this part. Let us work. Let us work as a family. Get your market into the market. Get your vehicle parked elsewhere and allow the frame vehicle to go. I think we will monitor that. I have told them I will continue to monitor that until I see it's being properly handled. And then I will move to 5-5 area. So if we continue to do so, to engage the public, don't vex as a police because you have asked them to a meeting and you have not come. You have a target, you have a goal that you want to achieve. Even if they are not coming, force them to talk with them so that you will be able to win their for quite a long time, the public has lost confidence in the police. For us to, rebrand our image, for them to accept us as their people, is a continuous engagement with them.
Okay. He is our Chief Superintendent of Police and the local unit commander of the Waterloo Division. The program is Podium. We are going for a short break. After the break, the program continues. We are back with the program Podium, which is coming to you from Freetown with me, Asmiuba. Keep sending your message to the number 083733504. And BMT, is there anything for private schools?
Not for now.
Because many citizens prefer to send their kids to private school because they believe that in the private schools there are standards. In government schools, standards are followed.
So when you talk of free quality education, and that is exactly what we would be running for the next 5 years for a start. So this year, academic year, we now know what's in the package. By next year, we will know what would be included in the package. So by the time we get to the 5th year, we would have realized the full complements of the free quality education. So where people will now begin to assess it and say, is it even relevant or necessary for me to send my kids to a private school or keep them in a public school, which we believe would have been strengthened by the time we hit the 5th year. Because obviously we would have had enough trained and qualified teachers, enough teaching and learning materials, 50 kids in one classroom, and all of the attendant good things that a quality, free quality education would need to have. So it would be the choice of the parents to go and spend your money at a private school or send your child in a public school which offers almost the same.
I mean, many times the government says it lays emphasis, it gives premium to preschool, but I don't know, are there government preschools?
There was never any time that we had actually given prominence to preschools, except for the last few years.
But that should be the foundation.
So now that's why this free quality education is capturing them from there, preschool right through. They are all
so have preschools been established?
Well, we started actually creating classrooms within primary schools. We had 50 of them created in 50 primary schools as a test, as a pilot project that was funded by a project we call REDICEL, Revitalizing Education in Sierra Leone. And so if now it is part of the package, then of course it's going to be strengthened, and our partners are willing and ready to actually strengthen that aspect of higher education. Because once you're able to get it right at that level, chances are they'll grow up becoming very powerful pupils in our classrooms.
What about the two-shift system? From 2 shifts to 1 shift. Is the 1 shift going to commence this September?
Yes, it is going to commence. You see,
maybe with the existing structures in the schools?
You see,
schools that used, for example, schools that used to have, let's say, 1,000 kids and 70 or 80 kids in one classroom, 2 shifts. And now you are telling that same school to have 1 shift and 50 kids in one classroom with the same infrastructure. How is that going to work?
So, what people had in mind and what people were speculating is different from the reality on the ground. When we finally said to all heads of schools that if you cannot run a one school system, write to us and tell us why. The number of schools that actually wrote letters to us saying that they would not be able to go to a one shift system are not up to 200. Out of 11,000 schools that we captured in this recent national assessment survey that we carried out. So that should tell you that we are at 99% of schools that would go to a one shift.
So you are saying space is not the problem?
Well, if they had had a problem, I'm sure they would have come to us and say, we are not going on a one shift. But because they are able to run a one shift system.
So why are they running 2 shifts? So
that should tell you, one, it's a question of having 2 principals. A principal for junior school, a principal for senior school. So it's all the school administration actually doing that. So now we are saying we will go and inspect, and let me tell you, out of the less than 200 schools, in fact it was 99 schools that I counted 3 weeks ago when we went out. We only had 99. We don't know if we even have up to 150 right now. I supervised a group that inspected 16 schools, and in most of those schools that we went to, my group went to, it was only a question of, they have structures there that you can transform to classrooms almost immediately.
How do they make shift classrooms?
They wouldn't be made. I'm talking about structures that are standing there that you can just refurbish, and then you have more classrooms to allow kids to run a one-shift system. There are those that have stronger buildings that you can just put one more layer on top, and you create more classrooms. So if the government was even just desperate to get all schools into one classroom, into one shift system, the government probably would have. But we're not rushing it, because out of 11,000, if you have less than 200, then we can manage that. By next academic year, we know they will go to one shift.
Okay, Joseph, do you think, or what, in your opinion, what do you think should be done now?
Well, I just want to take it from the issues Brahma was looking at. Let's take the private, for example. In the private schools, for example, the cost, the fee still remains the same. And Brahma is, the ministry and the other team are looking at, maybe over the years things will improve, then they can get people coming from the private into the public. You know, yes, it's possible, because we've seen that in the Rwandan situation.
That is the only time we can say our education is of quality.
Yes,
where people begin to move their kids
from
private
to the public. But in that situation, you know, just like we do, we need to monitor the situation very well, make sure standards are improving and the like, creation of more infrastructure and facility. So the monitoring aspect is very much important. But the point here is, these proprietors in the private school, they still maintain the same cost. You can imagine if everything is almost waived in the public school, then the proprietors still maintain their cost. Yes, somebody will say they have the money, but I mean, something must be done, the regulatory aspect of it, by the Ministry of Education.
So I say the Ministry of Education should...
Yeah, they should regulate and do a little bit of negotiation, so a little bit of, I mean, cut.
BMT, before you leave us, is that something the ministry is thinking about?
Well, we have always been engaging heads of private schools. This minister, as soon as he came, had a meeting with them. I think he has had 2 meetings with them already. So we are engaging them. The minister, according to the Education Act of 2004, has the authority to regulate the fees of private schools if, in the minister's opinion, he finds them to be unreasonable. You see, so that's...
BMT, and I know that some fees that are being charged by some private schools are unreasonable.
So that is...
You don't need to be the Minister of Education.
No. As for you, understandably, yes. But it becomes discretionary. So that is the reason why we are advocating that we revisit that education.
So it is only when the minister deems it unreasonable.
Exactly, that's what the act says.
Even if members of society deem it unreasonable, if the minister does not deem it reasonable, he will not ask for change.
Keep in mind that these people are also reading that same act, and so if you go after them, they will be quoting it. And so where would you?
So why not change the act then?
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. It would be
that
reviewed.
Is something the Minister of Education should take a lead.
Of course, we are going to take the lead to review that act, to look at it and see what should and should not be there, what should be added or what should be taken out, you know, so that we will be able to have clearly defined things in that act that will tell you that this is the penalty for doing this.
Okay, well, let's go for the text message for now. This one says, what is going to happen to teachers that are teaching both private and government schools at different times? San Nepal, there is a damaged electrical pole at Albert Street off Circular Road. We wrote to EDSA for its replacement. Until now, nothing has been done. EDSA, every day when it's 8 p.m. you take the light at Calabaton. It won't come until 11 p.m. We want to know why. There are teachers who teach in both private and government schools. What will be their fate in the free education policy? Thank you, Mr. President, for this free education. It has been a burden on government. What is in the package is different from what President Bio promised during his campaign. From the package, it is not attractive at all. We are expecting much more. This one said the pledges during the program show that the funds are not available for the full implementation of the education. What about faulty meters? One said the pledge aspect of the launching ceremony was not organized, and I think it was a public embarrassment to the state. The one-shift system and the 50 per class will be difficult to phase out for the next academic year. Sign a point, just 2 seconds.
Yes, thank you very much for the text messages sent by viewers. Of course, for the one who said damaged electrical poles, I will send it to the technical team and they will try and sort it out. For Calbaton, in my submission, I did say that Calbaton has a problem with congestion. The line has been congested, and as a result of that, we are now engaged in upgrading the line because the number of customers to its transformer have exceeded.
Well, that's something you should have known.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. We now know. It's just a week or two.
When customers begin to complain at them, you know?
No, it's not when they begin to complain. We have discovered it before they started complaining. So now upgrade.
Or is it that your stores are dry? You don't have?
No, we are now.
You don't have where to replenish?
We are upgrading the system. Of course, someone spoke about faulty meters. It was also in my submission. We have also sent out a press release. We are calling on all. We have thousands of customers out there whose meters are faulty. So we are calling on them to come to Falcon Bridge, come and make your report. Because what we have also discovered is that there are certain meters out there that are not paying, that are not buying credits. They are using the electricity free of charge. So we are appealing to them to come to our office and report themselves, rather than waiting for us to go and meet them. Because what we have decided is that if we go and meet your meter working without it being connected, or the meter is faulty, without you reporting it, it means we'll class it as illegal abstraction of electricity, which is a criminal offense as stipulated in the Act. So we are calling on our customers, we are appealing to them to please, if you know you have faulty meter, come to our office, report the issue, we can change it at no cost.
Thank you very much. Chief Superintendent, some of these areas need police posts, and Waterloo alone cannot cope with the growing population, the growing communities.
We got a lot of police posts. We have police station at 55. We have police post at Lompa. We have at Kent. We have at Kent Junction, Tumbo. We got at Dibiawata, and we are intending. We have at Crossing. We are intending to have one by Devil Hole, as the case may be, and we are also asking the management to help us human resource. Because you can't establish a police post, you don't have the capacity to put people there. But by and large, it's people to cooperate. You know, public cooperation. Once we get public cooperation, we will respond. We have changed our attitude. We have reformed. If we believe, or people believe the police are bad, then let them take that as their worldview.
And what about the traffic division? If you talk to the Waterloo drivers, they will say the police in Waterloo are extorting money from them.
Let them report.
They say they have to book on a daily basis.
No, that's their business. They must report, because you don't have right to book. You are not a policeman. What are you booking?
But many times that is difficult, sir, to have, because I mean it's happened on that.
Remember, I have been in charge of traffic and I have been talking against that. Now I am in Waterloo. If you think that there is a law that you should book before you run, I'm there. Come and report to me.
Well, they will not report it because they are afraid. If they do, your guys will go after them.
Why? I'm still
because
there.
They have reported.
No. If they report, then we'll get the person will change himself. No. I will not encourage them for that. I have spoken to them. I got meeting with driver senior. I got meeting with bike rider senior. If you are having challenge with the traffic police, come and tell me. I know the traffic police will establish a lot of offenses, but there are some offenses I will tell them, okay, bear it. Let me take down those offenses, allow them to go, especially during the peak rush and peak hours. And I know the situation better. But if they are not coming, it's they themselves that are indulging the police. You remember, when you bribe, when you give, people will take. And in most cases, they deal with people that are taking. And this time, I'm saying, if the public see them giving to the police, the public, please report those that are giving and those that are taking. So then they will not do that. And let me use this opportunity again to talk to whoever we are being asking to come to Waterloo Police and report to yourself with regards to the matter we are investigating at Newton, after Newton, 6 Mile. You know yourself, come. If you don't come, the next time I come here, I call your name and we'll prepare a warrant of arrest to get you arrested. I'm very serious on it because I have spoken to you, I have sent text to you, and I have sent WhatsApp to you. I expect you to behave like
so is the person dodging?
Is dodging. I expect you to be patriotic. If you are not patriotic, then the law will ask you to be so.
Well, I guess the person has had BMT. We are rounding up, but during the launching that day, there was a session that ministers came out and gave their pledge. The vice president, the president, for instance, pledged I think 3 months of his salary or so. The vice president also pledged 50% of 6 months of his salary. The chief minister and other ministers did a similar thing. But some people said that was a sign as if the government does not have the money to implement the free education. Even the textile has asked that now.
Ask me for a laudable national project like this that requires all the resources in the world, and if you are really patriotic, how can you possibly say that? America, that has all the resources, undergo instances where they would ask people to pledge. It's a national endeavor. Government alone cannot run it. You have to have partners. That's why we have partners. Individuals can also pledge. For the first time, how would it feel, ASMU, to be one of the few African countries that are running a pre-quality education and sustaining it? How would you feel as a Sierra Leonean for the first time? That is the spirit behind it. The launching of the Education Basket Trust Fund was only the official aspect of it that day. It does not start and end on that day. It is going to continue. It's an ongoing process. So to say that it was not properly handled was an understatement. And secondly, somebody was saying the launching was a disgrace in the manner in which it's handled. I don't really know where that person is coming from with all of that. When people are calling us from all over the world and commending us for what we did on that day. So imagine that we still have people who think that it's a mess. It's Sierra Leone for all of us. That's sad.
There has been a political twist to it.
Well, the launching is the launching. We carried it out effectively. Everything went on successfully and everything was perfect, more or less. So it's his opinion or her opinion. I cannot stand against it. But I know we had a successful launching and everybody was commenting.
So you think the opposition will support the free education policy?
Like I always say, ASMU, if this fails, it's not going to be failure for SLPP. It will be a national disgrace for us because we've been given an opportunity for the first time to run a free quality education. And if we have everything to do to make it happen, that is what we are supposed to be seen to be doing. If we don't, it's a disgrace for this nation.
Okay, well, that's it. That's how we end the podium for today. Thanks to all my guests, Brian Matuye from the Ministry of Education, Joseph, and also Sanepo from EDSA, and Chief Superintendent of Police, LUC of the Waterloo Division. That's how we say goodbye on behalf of all of us and my producer, Salmata Venues, ASMU. Till we join you again tomorrow. God bless you. Goodbye.